Whew. It's like I usually cannot stop talking, and as soon as the camera is on me, I'm like, what are words, you know? Okay, I have some tea. I want to finally do something that I've been meaning to for years. This is kind of a drastic measure, really, but I think it's the only one that has the potential to make me move. In the beginning of 2019, this year of the Lord, I made a list of goals. I read a lot of
self-help and self-growth books, watch a lot of videos about productivity and whatnot.
And they all recommend that you visualize goals, that you have goals, that you make goals. Because if you're just trying to go into like, oh, I just want to be happier, I just want to do like where you're not clear, where it's just like,
I guess I would like it to be better.
That somehow in your mind that won't be clear enough of a direction to really go there. I can totally see that. That makes a lot of sense to me. When it comes to the amount of goals you're supposed to set a year, I think it varies between like 3 and 5. So not just one, but also, don't overdo it. And I would absolutely cite my sources if I would at all remember what book it was. But I mean, it's not just one book. It's all the same thing. Whatever, make goals. Okay, so again, in the beginning of 2019, or like maybe February, March, because we're not fast around here, I made goals. It is now the middle of September. I have 3.5 months left. We all do in this year. And let's just say it's not going very great. I want to change that. There's this book by Gretchen Rubin that talks about, I think it's 4 types. Hold on. Of course, I can't find it right now. Anywho, so we'll just do that from memory, even though I haven't even read the book. It's editing me. Hi. Sorry about the visuals and the audio and everything, but I just need to spare you the next couple of minutes, okay? I ramble on about these types that are in fact called tendencies, so congratulations. All I want to say is, in this book, the author talks about 4 tendencies that people can find themselves being, and these are tendencies that are in respect to how you work with expectations, inner or outer expectations. And I personally very much think that I am in the obliger category, which means it's easier for me to meet outer expectations and harder for me to meet inner expectations if I'm the only one holding myself accountable, basically. Here's a little thingy. There you go. You're doing great. Sorry about that. Bye. I'm talking out of my behind right now, but basically, I very much identify with the obliger. Now, the obliger type, as far as I get that, is a type of person that has a harder time doing things when the accountability is only there from myself. But if I tell somebody else that I will do something, or I have somebody else that kind of is my accountability buddy, it's much more uncomfortable to tell them I didn't do it, and come up with reasons why. So me being that type of person, this is my drastic move. I am now gonna talk about these goals. I don't even know why it's so uncomfortable. I'm actually nervous, I'm sweating, and I'm almost a bit ashamed to admit that I have goals and that these are my goals. I don't know why. Is it still the thing where it's not cool to care or something? I don't know what it is. Maybe I feel like people will judge me, or somebody would see this and be like, those are your goals. But yeah, they are. They're great goals, okay? See, the thing is, it's not like I'm not happy or not doing anything. It's not like I'm 100% unsatisfied with how my life's going or whatever. It's just that I feel like days come and then they go, and here I am doing some things, but nothing really. I started boxing, but not really. I started learning chess, but not really. I tried to learn how to code.
Not really.
Even my studies, everything is just yeah.
But not really.
I have a studio place rented where the goal is to paint or sculpt or just have a place where I can be creative and have all my materials, and I use that. Not really. And I'm is that all there is? I feel like I'm just, some days are better, some days are worse, but it feels like I can feel that there has to be more to it, but it's me who has to make more out of it. And one of the things that help you make more things out of things, that's not a sentence, is consistency, okay? Whether we're talking boxing or chess or coding or meditating or journaling or anything I want, learning Arabic,
you know, any of these things, these are all now things that you achieve by doing them 3 times. Okay, you have to be consistent with them. You have to give them an actual chance. And here I am like,
whatever.
And it just fizzles out. And this is very different to, you know, trying things out and realizing that they're not for you. That's not what I'm talking about. That's totally fine. I mean, that's what we try out things for, you know. It's like, you know, not really for me. But that's not really what happens. It's not like an active decision of mine where I go, oh, but that's, you know, not for me. It's just like I start doing something and then kind of stop. Sometimes I feel like I'm not an active participant in this life of mine, you know, I'm just kind of going along with things. And yeah, really, that's it. But, hello, I'm the one in response. Hello, I'm the one in control here, or at least, you know, partially. Okay, 3.5 months left, which is why I have to do this now. As you will see, one of the goals is actually starting a blog or YouTube channel. And my first video was supposed to be a video about how to meditate specifically for people with ADHD, because hello, and all the advantages that I personally experienced by meditating, not the usual ones maybe that they mention in scientific papers or whatever, but like, you know, personal things. Oh, whatever. I tried to film that video so many times and I always let that fear stop me, and it's always like, y'all, boring as hell. I have to come back to realizing that I do this for me. As much as I would hope that anyone watches this and can take anything out of it or maybe relate or whatever, that would be very nice. But first and foremost, I have to do this for me so that I can look back in a couple months and be like,
oh, interesting.
I want to see what happens. Like if I put this out there, you know. I saw a video recently by Kate Flowers, and she also talked about how she's a ballet dancer. She wants to get back into dancing. That's a whole other journey. If I figure out how, I will link a video of hers. But she talked about how, you know, putting it out there just creates a sort of accountability where it's like, now you kind of have to do that. And I really hope for that effect, because I am desperate right at this point. And it's like, again, all of these things I do sort of, but not really. And I'm just bored by that, you know. I'm also like kind of sick of myself talking about it. So ironically, I'm now talking about it again. Anywho, let's get into it, shall we? When I made these goals, the idea is that you have, say, I have 4 goals a year, and then you figure out a couple of habits, 3 or 4 or whatever, that you will have to implement in order to reach these goals. So instead of looking at a goal as this big mountain that you need to climb in like 5 minutes, you try to break it down into little bits and pieces of habits. How can you implement those in your life that will eventually make you reach this goal? Okay? So I wrote down my goals. I came up with those pretty easily. But when it came to the habits, that's already where it stopped. And I can show you how it looked, like how far I got in the process of writing these goals down. I printed them many times. One is hanging on that wall behind my bed, and I'm gonna grab that right now, and we're gonna talk about it. And you don't believe how uncomfortable I am right now. It makes me so anxious. But deep down I know I have to do this. And at the same time, you know, it's not that deep. Shit's never as deep for other people than it is for ourselves, right? I know that, I'm well aware. Been on this planet for long enough to know that one. But still, it's like, oh my god, the cringe. Anyways, be right back. Cool, ripping up the wall. Oh, the fucking cringe, bro. Also my hair, I know it's a problem, but trust me, that's as good as it gets. I'm shaking. This, I don't know if you can see it really. These are the 4 goals. These are the boxes where I was supposed to write in the habits that I feel like will get me there. As you can tell, 3 of 4 boxes are empty. That's the kind of commitment I had, even when I was still motivated to do that.
It's a problem.
Okay. Goal number 1 is get my bachelor's degree. Now that one is boring as hell. When I first made that list, I actually forgot about that goal, even though it's, you know, it's a very important one. It's really up there. But it's like, I'm not even deciding that for myself. It's just the last semester before I get my bachelor. Or so we hope. And I wanna, this last semester, I wanna enjoy it, and I wanna be good. I want to get a good grade. So I wrote down, goal number 1 is get my bachelor's degree and get a great grade at Arabic. Now, that's not my fault, but Arabic is no longer the class I'm going to be taking. Doesn't really matter to you though, or anyone. It's just like, just to be very clear, that's not my fault. University changed some things, and yeah. Anywho.
Oh, it's so awkward. It's so awkward.
I'm sweating. Look, there's a hair. Goal number 2 was to start a blog or a YouTube channel. The reason why is just because I have felt that need for some time. I always was a person to write a lot and think a lot and talk a lot, and sometimes I feel like I'm just in the mood to talk out there, you know, not specifically to one person. And I spend a lot of time on YouTube, so I don't know. I just felt compelled to do that. I feel so awkward. I'm fighting this feeling of, you know,
what do you think that you're needed online now? Like, nobody needs to hear you?
Which is something we're working on, okay? Actually, this is not, I didn't raise you like that. But yeah, we're just gonna... I mean, it's nice because if I happen to put this video up, then I did reach that goal, huh? Didn't I? So that's thriving, basically. Goal number 3 was to sell something and thrive at the exhibition in December. We need to correct that one. So I told you about the studio that I rent. Basically, it's just a big basement with many desks in it, and I'm renting one of those desks. You have a desk at your disposal and a wall or whatever that you can work on paintings and shit. And it's really nice. It's a nice place. It's close to my home. It costs money each month, not a lot for what it is, but a lot for the money that I have. And I've been renting it for years and years and years, at least 4 years now, and I'm just basically not ever going there. I'm not using the space. So I'm paying money each month that I really don't have for a space that I'm not using. Last year in December, the people of that studio thing, like the group, they organized a small exhibition. And I was in the process of finishing my one bachelor's thesis, and it was just a lot, but I still partook in the exhibition. I was so nervous and self-conscious about it that I didn't tell anyone. I told my parents like 2 days before it happened, and a handful of friends. I didn't advertise it at all or whatever, you know. I was just super self-conscious about what I put out. I felt really weird about it. It was my first, you know, exhibition. Again, like, everything about this feels very weird. Whatever you're imagining, it was smaller than that, okay? It's not that big a deal, but for me, I seem to have such a problem with putting myself out there or advertising myself. Again, we're going off topic here. I don't know if this year there's gonna be an exhibition in December, and it doesn't really matter. The thing with these goals is that sometimes it's kind of hard to find a way to verbalize them in a good way so that it's kind of quantified and you can actually check if you reach that goal or not. With the degree, it's easy. Like, if I get the degree, I reach it. If I don't get the degree, then I didn't reach it, you know. With that one, I just tried to find something that would make it possible for me to check off this box. But what I truly mean by it is spend time in the studio, create some things, paint, etch, you know, draw, sculpt, whatever it is you want to do. Use this space that you're renting, and if not, stop the fuck renting it. Goal number 4, and that was also very difficult to kind of quantify, but I want to feel healthy and strong in my body. Now, I'm not trying to play the age card because I know that 28 is still very much young, but I have certain feelings in my knees and in my lower back that I don't need to be having. I'm just saying, in general, I want to take care of my body in that way that I exercise it, activate it, give it what it, you know, needs as a human body that is made for movement. But it's hard to quantify because this is not about losing weight. I don't want to, you know, lose 10 pounds or whatever, because we don't need to be feeding no fat phobia around here. Also, it's just literally not about the weight for me. Maybe if you're able to do 20 of that exercise in a row, you will have reached it or something. But again, this is a goal that I personally... The goal is to establish the habit of exercising, basically, and just doing what's good for my body. This also includes consuming less alcohol and less cigarettes. These are the 4 goals. It's funny, when I came up with them in like a couple of months ago, half a year ago, I felt so connected to them and I felt so motivated and ready. But that's the thing, like, consistency isn't really my friend. I don't know how much this is a problem of ADHD, but I think if you do have ADHD, you can relate to that. It's kind of hard to keep up with the motivation for a thing. We have these bursts of motivation to read something and do something, but then that feeling just goes away, and it's very hard to keep doing that. I don't know how long I've been talking. I'm not sure the camera is still recording. But for now, this is it. If you feel like it, you can also come up with some goals. 3.5 months is not nothing. Oh, this is so weird. But that's the first video, okay? Once the first is out, I'm sure it gets better. I don't know.